UArgent warning. 7 new scams that feel 100% real.
Here we are, a little ways into 2025, and it seems the scammers have been working overtime. I'm Michael, and once again this year, I've been keeping a close eye on the new threats out there. I have a whole bunch of new scams and some very clever new variations on existing ones that you absolutely need to be aware of. The good news, if you can call it that, is that for most of these schemes, simply knowing how they work is the most powerful shield you can have to protect yourself. So let's just get right into it. Starting off, we have a particularly aggressive one that's been hitting phones non-stop, the unpaid tolls scam. You've probably gotten a few of these texts by now. I know I certainly have. The scam involves receiving a text message that convincingly claims to be from a regional toll-paying system, like EasyPass on the East Coast, FastTrack in California, or SunPass in Florida, depending on where you are. They specifically tailor the supposed agency to your phone number's area code to make the message seem far more legitimate and personal. The text will insist that you have a specific amount of unpaid bills and will often include a threat, like your license will be suspended or you'll face massive late fines if you don't settle the debt immediately. Of course, it provides a link to a website where you're supposed to go and pay the fine. Needless to say, that link leads to a sophisticated fake phishing site. The moment you enter your payment details, the scammers capture that information and can begin running up huge charges on your card. The FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, the IC3, has noted thousands of complaints about this scam, highlighting its widespread nature. All right, next up we have a very deceptive scam email that involves PayPal. It works by sending you an email claiming that a new address was added to your account, often including details about a supposed order you never made, and that you're going to be charged for it. But the truly insidious thing is, the email actually does come from the real PayPal domain, making it look completely authentic. Inside the body of this legitimate email, there will be a scammer's contact information, an email address, or a website you're supposed to visit to dispute the charge. If you contact them, they'll eventually direct you to a support agent who will instruct you to download remote control software, which effectively gives them total access to your computer. They basically hack you. The scammers want you to panic, thinking your PayPal account has been compromised and used to place a fraudulent order. In reality, no order was ever placed on your account. The trick works because they add a gift address to their own account and cleverly insert your email into it, which triggers PayPal to send you an official notification. The entire scam message you see is actually just text they typed into the address field itself. That's how it gets embedded in a real email from PayPal.com. All right, next up we have what I'm calling the Windows Run command scam. This particular threat can start in a variety of ways, but it usually begins when you unknowingly visit a scam website. That site will give you instructions, with some made-up excuse or reason, that you need to press the Windows key plus R, which brings up the Run dialog box in Windows. Then it instructs you to press Ctrl plus V and hit Enter, which will paste a command the website has secretly copied to your clipboard into the Run box and execute it. You can probably see where this is going. They cleverly add a long string of harmless-looking dummy text at the end of the command so that it overflows the small text box, hiding the actual malicious command on the left. That hidden command, in reality, downloads a virus file from the internet and runs it on your computer. From that point on, who knows what it does? It could be ransomware, spyware, anything. So it's needless to say, if any website ever tells you to open the Run box and execute a command on your computer, do not do it under any circumstances. This next scam is commonly called the I accidentally reported you scam, and while it's not brand new, it has been aggressively making its way onto more platforms where users haven't encountered it before. For years, this was a very common tactic on Steam and Discord, but now it has been making its way onto Twitter, and it will likely be on Facebook and Instagram very soon, if it isn't already. The way it works is roughly the same regardless of the platform, like in this example from Twitter. You'll get a message from a complete stranger with some kind of varying story that always concludes with them saying they mistakenly reported your account for a serious violation. They'll then claim they received a confirmation message saying your account is scheduled to be banned because of their report, and they just want to help make sure you don't get mistakenly banned. If you respond, the next step usually involves them telling you to contact another account, one that's also part of the scam, who will be posing as a site administrator. When you message this fake admin, they'll tell you that you must verify your account, which almost always requires a cash payment. They'll give you whatever bizarre excuse they can think of for why you need to pay money to verify, and that's their end goal. The truth is, it doesn't even matter if someone did mistakenly report you. Every major site's reporting system goes through a human review process and is specifically set up to handle false reports, so the logic of the scam doesn't really hold up if you think about it. Alright, moving on. We have another scam that I actually recently received myself and had never seen before. It's a Shopify fake order scam. What's interesting is that I got an actual notification on my phone directly from the Shopify app. I wish I had taken a screenshot of the notification, but you can see here that it actually placed a fake order right in my order history on the Shop app. The notification said something like, "Your order from Help Center is ready to ship," a standard notification. And when I looked at the order, it showed a purchase for some nonsensical AI-named item for about $1,000. It also claimed the store's name was Help Center, which for me was an immediate red flag that it was a scam. However, the scam here was not that an actual order was placed and charged to my card. I checked all of my accounts and there was no charge. It seems that at the exact same time I received this order notification, I got an email about a FedEx order that needed verification for shipping, and this email also claimed to be from Help Center. In that email, it just said to contact a Gmail address for FedEx. Very legitimate, I'm sure. Who knows where that would have led? Interestingly, there didn't seem to be any way to contact the supposed store from within the Shopify app itself. Clicking on the store just opened a blank page. So I'm not sure if the scammers even intended for the app notification to be part of the scam, or if that was just a side effect of their main goal, which was the email. Still, if you get some kind of order confirmation from Shopify but see no actual charges on any of your accounts, you can probably just ignore it. They just want you to contact them to cancel the fake order so they can get your personal information. Alright, moving on. Next up we have what I would call app authorization scams. For context, you know how some websites let you log in with your Google account or Twitter, and a screen pops up saying you're giving the site permission to see your email address and things like that? Or when a service needs to connect to your Google account, you're asked to grant it specific permissions. Well, you need to always be extremely careful when granting these permissions and actually read what they are, because sometimes they can be incredibly powerful and effectively give a scammer control of your entire account. One Twitter user showed how he was contacted by a scammer who sent him what looked like an app to connect his Google Calendar. It looked like a completely legitimate Google Calendar app, but it was a fake. The scammer had simply made a fake app with the same name and icon, and you can see the long list of permissions it requests. When the user authorized what he thought was Google Calendar, he actually gave the scammer complete access to his account, which they then used to tweet out scams. This type of scam can also manifest in other clever ways. For another example, there are fake Counter-Strike game streams that impersonate professional streamers. It's not actually the real person streaming. The stream will have a QR code on screen telling viewers to scan it to get free skins for the game. When you go to the site from the QR code, it requires you to log in with your Steam account, and in doing so, you grant access to your account that allows the scammers to steal your entire inventory, which can have significant real-world value. Next up, I have more examples of the ways scammers have been abusing otherwise legitimate email notification systems from major websites. It's very similar to how the PayPal email came from the actual PayPal.com domain. They used the same trick with other well-known sites. A prime example is using Google Drive shared file links. You'll receive an official Google Drive notification email that a document was shared with you. The scammers will title the document with a name that looks like an urgent message from Wells Fargo, or I even got one that claimed to be from a law firm. The title will always convey some kind of urgent message that requires you to visit some site to do whatever. The shared document is usually a PDF that contains a link to a phishing site. Now, you might wonder why they would use Google Drive to send a Wells Fargo scam. The reason is simply to get past email spam filters. A legitimate Google Drive notification email is far less likely to be sent to your spam folder than an email sent from some random unknown web domain. This next example is very similar in execution, except it uses YouTube private video sharing notifications. I've received a few like this recently, where the email says a private video was shared with you. The scammers had uploaded a private YouTube video with a deceptive title, such as, in this case, Changes in Monetization Policy and Check the Description. If you were to go to that video and check the description, it would probably contain a phishing link telling you to log in here to verify your account or who knows what. This particular example is obviously targeted at YouTube creators like myself, but the same method could be used for anyone. You can also see that they named their channel Notification for YouTube Creators to make it look even more legitimate. And again, the sole reason they use this method is so the notification gets past your spam filter. So you must know that simply checking to see if an email came from Google.com is not a foolproof way to verify its legitimacy. Next up, this one is more of a general thing to be aware of, and that is to be on the lookout for scam and phishing emails that sound way more legitimate than you would ever think, thanks to the rise of AI these days. As a specific example that I've been getting, targeted again towards YouTube creators, are fake sponsorship emails like this one claiming to be from NVIDIA. They go through a whole elaborate pitch that was almost certainly generated by AI. I believe their goal is to get you to contact them back so they can send you some kind of agreement or contract that is actually a virus. I've received a ton of these types of emails claiming to be from different companies like Sony and Logitech. These emails are all perfectly well written, and the Sony one even has a nice professional layout, but they're completely fake. I can tell they are fake because they all come from the same domain, which is just a free email provider. So in this situation, checking the from address is absolutely critical. I've also seen varying examples like invitations to a podcast. It's usually the same trick. They send you a document you're supposed to open, and it's a virus. But this isn't just happening through email. I've also received DMs on Twitter where a fake PR manager will claim to represent a company. This one claimed to be from Duolingo, and it was even from a verified account, though that checkmark doesn't mean much on Twitter anymore. If you look at their account, they have literally just retweeted a bunch of posts from the real company they claim to represent, but they have no actual association with them at all. Thanks to AI, you also have to be aware of scam websites that look more legitimate than ever before. For instance, there has recently been a virus campaign that claims you need to update your Chrome browser. This campaign targets not just Windows users, but macOS users as well. As you can see, the site looks pretty much identical to the real Chrome website. And if you are on macOS, it even provides seemingly helpful instructions for how to right-click, open the file, and then type in your password to run it. When you do that, you're actually installing a stealer. This is a type of malware that steals all of your browser's saved session cookies, which basically gives the scammers a carbon copy of all your active logins. They don't even need your passwords. They can just import your cookies into their browser, and they will already be logged into your accounts on their computer. From there, they just steal all your stuff. All right, now finally, some general tips and advice. First of all, I didn't really go over any phone scams besides the texts, but these days, robocalls and voice scams are so common, I honestly would just not even bother picking up the phone if you're not expecting a specific call, or unless you have to for your job. The way I see it, if a call is important enough, the person will leave a voicemail. On the iPhone, you can actually set it to completely silence calls from anyone not in your contact list and send them immediately to voicemail, which is a feature you might want to consider enabling. Next, a couple of tips on the computer side of things. If you happen to use the Chrome browser, I would strongly consider enabling their Enhanced Protection feature. This is under Privacy and Security and then Security. This feature is much more real-time and faster at detecting scam websites. It doesn't rely on locally stored lists that are only updated every few hours. Instead, it checks a much more up-to-date list in the cloud. If you use the Microsoft Edge browser, there is a similar setting under Privacy, Search, and Services called Enhance Your Security on the Web. I would set that to Balanced, which enables extra protections that might occasionally break a website, but it only does so on sites you don't visit often, which makes the most sense. Microsoft Edge, but not Chrome, also has a new feature called Scareware Blocker, which uses AI on your computer to detect fake tech support sites or other scam pages, even if they aren't on a known blacklist yet. So hopefully all of this was very helpful to you. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and tell me if you've encountered any of these scams yourself. I really hope this information helps you stay safe out there. If you found this video valuable, please do me a favor and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future updates. Thanks so much for watching.